Hello, ma'am. Welcome to Pinoy on Board.
Hello po. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, ma'am. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Josephine Ruiz. I am a Filipino teacher from Cebu City, and it's my first year here in abroad teaching first graders.
First grade.
Yes, well,
Wow. Anong
first grade.
school?
Diamondback Elementary.
Diamond. Oh, okay. First graders talaga.
Yes, first graders
Wow, from Cebu.
from Cebu City.
Yung first grade ba the whole subject pa yung kasi sa high school yata specialized either English or math. Yung sa iyo ba yung whole class the whole day yung tiniteach mo
Yes.
specific na subject?
I teach po the whole elementary core subject. So, kasali po doon yung reading, math, social studies, science.
So lahat-lahat na
So,
ikaw
lahat
nagka-cover.
siya whole day.
So isang ano lang yun, isang
Yeah, isang
Isang
klase.
class lang.
Tapos I handle the same class the whole day.
Okay. So, ma'am, what I'd like to know is how did you find out about yung J1 visa program?
So, before kasi I was teaching in private school for 5 years. And after that, nagka-item ako sa DepEd. And then, that was the time wherein na-aware ako sa J1 visa because some of my workmates are already like resigning and like sabi ko, where are they going? Or saan sila pupunta? Kasi yung mga Pinoy, alam natin na, pag government ka na, it's already stable. Yung
Tama.
stability is nandyan na. But then I figure out na there's another way pala to like earn, earn while you're doing your passion at the same time. So like, doon ko nalaman yung J1 visa na pwede pala tayong mag-teach abroad and then it doesn't take you very long time to prepare for it. Tsaka madali lang yung yung pathway to go to the US. So I was curious about it. So nag-search ako. I've been searching about it online. Tsaka nakita ko yung iba't ibang mga Filipino vloggers na teachers na andito na. So ang dami nila. So I was like, siguro I will try this. Like I prepared my CV and stuff, the documents that I have to prepare. Tapos I decided na like first things foremost, why do I have to go there? Like, sabing ganyan. So I asked myself, I'm already stable. I'm already in the government. So parang what could be the good reason that I'm gonna go there? So yung first reason ko is that to really have, we earn in the Philippines as a government employee, as a teacher there. Pero I wanna have more so that I can give more, most especially to to the families. So at the same time, parang I wanna yung professional development kasi I'm stuck in a position wherein parang I'm a millennial teacher. So, parang at the same time, parang ako lang gumagawa sa lahat. Like, I mean, like, lahat. Like, I mean, the techie part, yung instruction, parang ganyan. So, I was like, I'm also like thinking, ano kayo yung curriculum nila doon? Na-curious din ako sa ganyan. How do they teach, the subjects that they do or ano yung mga strategies nila? Na-curious talaga din ako. So, I was like, before, I really have looking forward for a time that I would teach abroad because parang like I want to benchmark on my own. Like first kasi na I thought about Singapore. So yan yung una kasi ECE ako, early childhood educator. So yun yung in demand doon. So yun yung una kong narinig before the J1 visa. So I was like, pagkarinig ko ng J1 visa tapos sa US, so I was like, oh, ano rin yun, maganda rin yun kasi yung US kasi parang, it's a really big country na parang, it's like first class country.
Tama.
So, na-curious din ako sa curriculum nila. So, that was part of it. And after that, nung na-apply ako, it was my first PI, and principal interview. It was my first school interview, and then I got hired. So, parang, oh my gosh. Parang it's less than 5 months, and andito na ako. Yeah.
So, ilang schools yung in-applyan mo?
A lot. So I applied more than 50
Wow.
school districts. So
Different states.
different states. So ang ginawa ko kasi pag nag-apply ka sa US, if direct hire ka, if that's your pathway, it really needs a lot of work. So aside from teaching every day sa school, you really have to take time to submit your documents, to mag-search ka ng mga district. Tapos yung ginawa ko, I just told myself, okay, our job is to just give out 10 resumes per day. So 10 school district. So yun yung ginawa ko. I sent out my documents 10 schools or districts per day. So ang nangyari nun, kapag napagod ako and then I still don't have any principal interviews, I was like, okay, I'm not hindi ako in a hurry. So I was like, if ibigay to sa akin, then this is really for me. If not, then I'm still gonna be happy teaching in the Philippines. So I sent out more than 50, like almost 100 applications.
Wow. So yung nag-apply ka dito sa mga schools, how did you find yung mga schools? Google search mo lang sila?
Yes, Google search. At saka yung may sinalihan ako na Facebook page.
Okay.
Parang private Facebook group.
Okay.
So nandun yung lahat ng mga information. So it's like Filipino support teachers. Na
Very
group
popular.
na ganyan.
I heard about that too.
So pagkasali ko doon, you can ask everything, all the questions that you have in your mind, at saka may automatic sila na sumasagot. So like little by little, pag nag-research ka lang, you can actually like really apply on your own, direct hire na hindi ka na nagbabayad ng agency or third party. So yun yung nangyari.
So sino yung yung sponsor mo? Visa sponsor?
Amity Institute. Yes.
Doon mo rin find out yung Amity sa Facebook group?
Yes, doon rin. At saka one thing is marami silang visa sponsor. So yung nagsuggest niyan sa akin is yung workmate ko na unang pumunta dito.
Okay.
So nagtanong ako sa kanya kasi yung ginamit kasi nila na credit card doon, yung sila ng sponsor, yung credit card ko. So nalaman ko na okay, it's this. So they ask about it, like how was the visa sponsor? Are they supportive? Yung payments nila, are they, may iba kasi na super expensive din yung program. So sinabi nila nga, this is the cheapest, the cheapest
na sponsor
na pwede mong. So tinry ko, nag-chat ako, and then they accepted me, and then so on.
Tell me about yung interview mo sa school.
Okay, it was in-interview ako, it was 1 a.m. in the Philippines. Tapos dito parang 10 a.m. parang ganun. So nag-prepare talaga ako noon, like I think it's a week or 2 weeks preparation na sinulat ko yung mga tanong. Tapos nilagay ko siya sa index card at saka may ring binder siya. So napapractice ako. Kahit nasa school ako kasi na yun preparation na yun ng moving up sa kindergarten kasi kindergarten ako sa Philippines na teacher. So while busy kami, may talaga ako 10 minutes na nag-aaral ako ng mga questions, tinatanong ko yung self ko, at pag may yung husband ko at saka yung mga friends ko, okay, tanungin mo nga ako. Parang ganun. Tanungin mo nga ako if I can answer it.
Nagro-roleplaying
kayo. Oo, parang ganun. So, when it happened already, it was smooth sailing. Like, lahat ng mga na-practice ko, ng mga tanong, may sagot na ako So, ayun, sinagot ko lang yung mga tanong, at saka it's very important also to give your actual experiences. Kasi tinatanong nila mostly yung classroom management mo, because that's the most important. Aside from having, communication skills, at saka yung teaching strategies, yung talaga, doon talaga sila heavy kasi you can't teach without, kahit magaling ka pa mag-teach, but you can't manage the class. Hindi. So, yun yung nag-cite ako ng example kung paano ko ginagawa yung mga positive reinforcement, yung mga ganun. So, it was very quick. Parang less than an hour lang siya. So, they were 3 people who interviewed me. 2 school principal, at saka isang district member. So, yan lang. Tapos, nung nagtanong sila sa akin, I just answered them confidently, at saka I really bring out all the experiences na ginawa ko rin. Kasi I've been teaching for like 10 years na. So kung may tinatanong sila ng mga ganito na hindi ko na-practice, inisip ko na lang yung anong ginawa ko noon. Kasi it's easier that way. Kasi, mag-formulate ka ng mga gawa-gawa. Kasi ina-arrange mo pa yung thoughts mo. So, yun lang. Sinishare ko lang din yung mga nagawa ko or mga ginawa ko. And they, parang may lista sila eh. May chine-check sila na ganyan. So, after that, before the end of the interview, nagtanong din sila, do you have any questions? Siyempre, yung una kong tinanong, do you guys sponsor, do you have a visa sponsorship? Or kayo ba? Like that. So, I also asked them a question about, may bayad kasi yung program. Diba? May bayad yung program. So, do you pay for it? How does the district, what's the environment? Tinanong ko din sila. And then, they answered me na, the people who can answer you is like the HR and stuff like that. You can contact them. It's like, okay. Tapos yun na. After that one, I think I did well. And then, sinabi ko na lang na, if it's for me, then if it's for me.
Did they, how many days bago sinabi nila sa'yo na hired ka na?
It happened first week of Feb. Tapos, parang after spring break, kasi may spring break sila dito, parang na-anxious din ako naghihintay na.
So mga more than 1 month?
More than 4 weeks. Parang 1 month siya.
So 1 month you never heard from them?
Yeah, I never heard from them. So parang, oh my gosh. Tapos wala na akong principal interviews na for that. So parang na-anxious ako na, ano ba talaga? So, are they going to hire me or not? So, pero nag-a-apply pa din ako yung 10 applications per day kasi hindi pa ako sure. And then, I think nag-send ako ng email, ng follow-up. Like, ano kaya yung ang result nun? And then, parang, ang sagot nila, they can't give it yet because may pa sila, hinihintay pa silang isang reference.
Oh, okay.
Kasi, tinawagan nila yung principal ko. So,
tinawagan talaga nila?
Video call talaga. So, buti na lang close kami na principal ko. At saka, rin, parang ko na yung, alam niya rin yung, yung capabilities ko. Kaya, nag-video call talaga sila. Kaya sinabi ko talaga, may utang talaga ako na bag kay ma'am. Kasi nag-spend time siya na mag-interview sila sa district supervisor at saka sa akin yung principal ko. At that time, she was also promoted as the district supervisor din. So, silang dalawa nagtawag sila, nag-video call. So, after that one, parang sabi ko, parang ito na yun. So, may isang teacher na nandito na, tapos nakita ko lang siya over Facebook, nag-reach out ako sa kanya na, bakit kaya hindi pa ako binibigyan ng job offer? Kasi yun eh, yun yung parang, okay, ito na yun. So, sabi niya sa akin, kasi we're on our spring break. So, hintayin mo lang baka after spring break. Tsaka yun talaga yung nangyari. After spring break, I received the job offer. Parang it was 2 a.m. in the Philippines. And then I was like, kasi parang gumigising ako ng ng madaling araw. Chine-check ko yung email ko na kaya. Kasi gusto ko mag-reply agad kung may tanong sila. So yun, it was 2 a.m. first week of March. Exactly, I think 1 month after the interview na nakakuha ako ng job offer.
Ano yung feeling mo nang na-realize mo na na-hired ka na?
It was so surreal kasi parang yung sa akin parang ang bilis eh. I started my sending application, it was still December 2024. 2023. So, nagka-JO ako March. So, it didn't take me that long. Kasi, yung iba kasi, yung mga nababasa ko, parang ilang years na sila nag-a-apply. Ilang years na wala pa rin silang mga interviews or hindi sila na-hire. So, I was like, para sa akin talaga to. Kasi, binigay eh. Tsaka, this is, nag-aano pa nga ako if I will sign it, if I will accept the offer. May ganun pa akong face na kasi it's all uncertain eh. Hindi mo alam anong mangyayari or magugustuhan mo ba dito or stuff like that. So sinabi ko na lang na yun yung sign na inask ko ni Lord na if ibigay sa'yo, then that's for you. You just have to. And then parang nag-ano pa ako kasi baka may iba pang principal interview. Baka mas may malaki pang i-offer. Or yung may nag-advise sa akin na andito na, sabi niya, hindi ka kasi sure. Kapag hindi mo yan tinanggap, kasi naghihintay ka pa ng iba, you won't be sure na may iba pa na darating. So I was like, sila yung unang nag-offer sa'yo. That means that's really for you.
Oo.
So, yun na, tinanggap ko na lang siya.
Tell me about naman yung interview mo sa embassy.
Okay. Magkasama kasi kami ng husband ko noon. Sinama ko na siya para kasi yung narinig ko madali lang daw pag kasama mo na yung yung dependent mo.
Oo.
So yung interview ko, nag-practice din kami noon kasi yun yung din kahit may ka na job offer ka na tapos wala kang visa, hindi ka pa makakalipad dito.
Tama.
So binigyan ko ng inorient ko rin yung husband ko kasi pag tanungin siya, baka hindi niya alam yung sasagutin. So on my end, I was pretty sure and I was pretty ready about it kasi sumali ako ng mga practices, ng mga mock interviews sa visa. Ganon talaga siya ka-intense. So pag interview namin dun, nakakatuwa yung nandun na kami sa line at saka nakita ko yung isang parang yung face niya is parang mas light yung console. Kasi tatlong console sila at that time. So nakita ko na yung isa parang stricto siya kasi ang tagal matapos nung unang in-interview na. Ang tagal matapos. I was like, so ang nangyari nun, dun ako, kasi may mga nag-a-assist. Tapos hindi nila parang nakita na, parang alam ko kasi na dun ako sa yung stricto. Pero hindi nila alam na, hindi niya napansin na wala ng tao dun sa yung parang smiling na console. Ako na mismo yung pumunta kahit hindi niya ako sinabihan na, dito ka, punta na ako doon kasi alam ko na kanang light lang yung niya, yung feeling. So, hindi ka masyadong matitense. Oo. So, yun na, sabi ng husband ko, halika na dito, sumunod ka na sa akin. So, doon, sa kanya talaga kami nagpa-interview. So, ang nangyari niyan, parang 3 lang yata yung question niya, yung where are you going, what are you gonna do there, when did you got married, and then, hiningi yung marriage certificate. Tsaka, yun na, sabi niya, okay, God bless, and then, welcome to the US. Sabi niya gano'n.
Ano yung feeling mo nung ma-approve ka ng visa?
Parang talaga yung kaba na nandito na, yung kaba na nandito na, nawala siya lahat. Parang, oh my gosh, this is it. Ganon, sobrang grateful at saka very happy.
Any challenges? Mabilis yung process mo, pero did you ever encounter any challenges?
Not really. Not really talaga, by God's grace. Smooth sailing lang siya lahat. It was pretty, smooth sailing lahat. Tsaka yung pag-book ng pag-book ng ticket. It was, I think merong isa. Yung tinatawag na token, CFO.
CFO.
Yes, the CFO certificate kasi hindi ka makakalipad din pag wala yan kasi hinahanap siya sa immigration. Hinahanap siya. So, ang nangyari nun, matagal kasi siyang napermahan yung clearance ko sa regional office kasi napakataas ng process talaga ng resignation sa DepEd. So, ang nangyari dun, nagpabook na ako ng ticket kahit wala pa akong CFO kasi sinasuggest nila huwag kang mapabook hanggang wala kang CFO.
Tama.
Pero yung problema ko, yung dilemma ko nun is pag late ako nakabook, mahal na yung ticket. Napakamahal ng mga ticket. Tapos 2 kami. So ang nangyari yan, inestimate ko talaga. Ginagamit ko na lang yung estimation skills ko na, okay, nag-search ako ilang araw marirelease yung CFO kapag kumpleto na yung requirements mo. Tapos sabi nila, 3 days lang. At saka the good thing about my batch, dun 2024, kasi before, it was CFO sticker na kailangan mong kunin mismo sa Manila, sa office nila. Pero on my time, on 2024, na siya, certificate digital na lang.
Okay.
Hindi mo na kailangang pumunta sa Manila. So, tinanong ko, nag-search ako, nagtanong ako sa group kung ano yung ilang oras or ilang days ba na pa-process. Sabi nila, 2 days lang ma'am, binigay na nila. So, nagpabook na ako. Tapos, wala pa akong CFO before the flight, like 1 week the flight, wala pa rin CFO. Sabi ko, oh my gosh, masasayang ba yung pera ko? Kasi it's more than 100,000. It's more than 100,000. Tapos sabi ko na, paano ko kaya to yung para mas maging mabilis. So tumawag ako sa office nila. Tapos kasi sabi ng CFO, wag kang magbo-book talaga. Nandun talaga sa website nila, don't book a ticket unless you have it. Pero by God's grace, parang 5 days before our flight, na-release na. Na-release na yung CFO. Parang, okay. Yun yung parang
Ano yung process ng CFO ngayon? You go online and
Yes.
ano yung parang course or questionnaires?
Isa siyang, para siyang module, but in a video way. Matatapos mo lang siya in just a night.
Oh, okay.
Tapos may exam siya. So, kailangan mo talagang,
Oh, wow.
oo, may exam siya. So, kailangan mo talagang makinig. Kasi after the video, may exam siya. Kailangan mo din siyang maipasa para ma-release nila yung, yung certificate.
May bayad ba sa sa pagkuha mo ng CFO?
Yes, may bayad siya. But it doesn't cost a lot. Parang below 500 lang.
Pero kung ma-fail mo yung exam na yun, magre-retake ka?
Oo, magre-retake ka. And I think you have to pay again. I'm not sure about it though. Pero parang magre-retake ka.
So after nung kuha mo ng course sa online,
Online lang.
mga ilang days bago na-release yung CFO mo?
Parang 4 days.
4 days.
4 days.
Tapos may ticket ka na. So parang
Parang just
Yung-
in time lang talaga.
yung appointment mo this week, for example, yung flight mo is like in 2 weeks. Ganon.
Ganon.
So kung hindi na-release yun,
Hindi,
ng
parang,
another week or so.
i-move mo yung flight mo. Tsaka it would cost you a lot
Oo.
yung
Kasi kung
pag-rebook.
yung na-book mo is non-refundable
Oo,
pa,
non-refundable.
lagot ka,
Non-refundable
diba?
po. So
One way
parang-
lang ticket lang yun.
Oo, one-way ticket lang. So parang risk talaga siya lahat. Pero nag-align talaga yung universe.
Do you have any kids?
Wala pa po.
Wala pa planning?
Yes, planning.
Sino yung natira sa Philippines?
Yung immediate family ko on my side and sa side ng husband ko.
Okay. Mga kapatid.
Yes, mga kapatid.
Oh, ilan kapatid na?
I have 3 siblings. On his end, he also has 3 siblings.
Oh, okay. Pang-ilan ka sa 3 siblings?
3rd.
Isa yung bunso.
May bunso pang isa.
May bunso pa. Wow. Okay. Ay, ilang taon yung bunso?
She's already 27. 27.
Anong course?
HRM. She graduated HRM. But she's working as, I think, a BPO employee.
So, nung na-approve ka na ng visa mo and everything, you're coming to the US, anong reaction ng family?
They were very proud. Very, very proud. Most especially yung sa side din ng husband ko. They were very supportive too. Kasi sila yung parang, alam nila na, we both came from a very humble family. So, money-wise, they don't have that kind of support na need when it comes to financial. Kasi 100,000 yung yung ticket pa lang, yung mga preparations. So, what I did is, ang ginawa ng side ng parents ng husband ko, sila yung nag-grocery, yung mga Pinoy items na dinadala to abroad, sila yung nag-grocery sa amin before ng flight. Sila yung nagbumili ng mga mga dilata, yung mga pansit canton, at saka parang nagdala kami ng isang grocery doon, grocery store. At saka on the end of my family din, yung mom na lang kasi yung nandun sa amin, yung dad ko, he died years ago. So what she did is she was our prayer warrior talaga. She was one of the prayer warriors na very solid, and she's very supportive too, na anong kailangan nyo, ano pa yung mga na-miss nyo and stuff like that. Very supportive talaga. Both of our families were very supportive. At saka parang yung 1 week before the flight, nafe-feel na namin yung mga sepangs, separation anxieties. Hindi man sinasabi, pero parang, mamimiss nyo to. Hindi na, kasi kumakain kami, we ate sa family ng husband ko, we go there every once a week, para mag-eat together sa house. Ang nangyari kasi, I think it also helped na, bumukod kami ng husband ko, kami lang dalawa. Kasi yun yung reason ko na bumukod kami. I have plans to go abroad. Masashock tayo pag hindi tayo nag-practice na tayong dalawa lang.
Tama.
So it was very helpful na bumukod kami. I think we were 6 months kaming nakabukod. So we were already trained to how to maneuver life just the two of us. Kasi yun dito eh. Yun yung nangyari eh. Malayo ka sa family mo, at the same time, hindi mo sila everyday nakikita, kayo nagluluto sa mga food. So it was very helpful din na nakabukod kami kasi parang training ground siya sa lifestyle namin dito sa US.
Ano yung work ni Habi sa Philippines?
He was a cook in a restaurant. Oo.
And dito naman nga is he working now?
He is, oo.
Ano naman yung work niya ngayon dito?
Cook din siya before, yun yung first job niya sa isang sa Golden Nugget, sa isang he's working there. Pero nag-quit siya, tsaka ano siya ng parang freelance.
Okay.
Freelance kasi hawak niya yung oras, tsaka mas malaki rin yung kita compared sa yung sa hotel siya. Gusto niya rin nga isabay kasi night siya doon sa hotel, and then pwede niyang, pero on my end parang alam natin na dito sa abroad yung mga Pinoy talaga kung saan may pera, go lang. Pero of course our health is the very important factor kasi pag you won't get any money or hindi mo kaya magtrabaho. So what we did is we decided na mag-focus na siya sa isa, which is he can earn more para may time na siya na magpahinga. Kasi importante din yun eh. Kasi nga, one day, your body will really ask for like, hello, how about me? Maniningil talaga. So, we decided na, you just focus on that thing. So, nag-freelance lang siya. Parang parang siyang Grab sa Philippines. Sa Walmart siya dito. So, yung nagde-deliver sila ng mga groceries sa mga bahay-bahay.
Oh, okay.
Sa mga apartment. Yan. Freelance lang siya. So, mas malaki yung kita niya compared sa doon sa hotel. Kasi at may time na siyang magpahinga. Kasi hindi yan, wala kang amo, wala kang boss. So, your boss is your own self na, okay, gusto mo bang magtrabaho? Sige, go. Kung ayaw mo, edi, wag din. Pero, yun rin nga, walang mga walang mga benefits. Kasi may benefits, di ba? May benefits, may sila, may insurance sila, may dental and health insurance din sila nakasama if you are under employment. Pero, yan din yung downside. Pero, okay lang din kasi, may naman yung J1 at saka J2, kailangan may insurance ka din. Hindi ka makakapunta dito pag hindi ka insured din. Kasi yun yung isang requirement sa visa sponsor. So, yeah. So,
available ba si Habi pag private booking na mag-cook? So, kung merong occasion?
Yeah, actually, kung may mga potluck kami sa school, siya yung inaano ng mga teachers. Kasi there was a time na mapapotluck kami, tapos we decided at yung may ibang teachers na magdala ng Filipino food. Kasi nga, isi-share siya, parang cultural exchange. Kasi may kailangan kasi yan sa amin na may cultural exchange activity kami. So, binubok siya ng mga co-teachers ko at saka siya nagluluto ng mga food, ng mga Filipino food.
That's good.
Yeah, parang niya rin, sideline niya rin, ganun. Kasi he enjoys din cooking eh.
So, tell me yung feeling mo when you were checking in for your flight na papunta dito sa US.
Okay, so we actually, exciting siya kasi first time international flight. And yung first time ko din na airplane flight, yun lang nung visa interview. So, ikalawang flight ko lang yun by airplane.
So yung first flight mo, domestic flight lang.
Flight,
and then yung second flight mo ever
international
is
na siya.
flight na kaagad.
And then, wala namang problema sa pag-check-in ng mga gamit. May isa lang kong unforgettable experience talaga. It was the longest flight kasi kami, Cebu to Hong Kong, then may layover na 8 hours. I was thinking na, pumunta mo magmasyal muna kami sa labas kasi parang visa free lang naman yung Hong Kong. Pero na think ko na isi-save lang namin yung money kasi hindi namin kasi yung money sa dollars malaki yun yung pinipare namin. So wag na lang humanap lang tayo ng mga lounge dito. So nakakita kami, natulog kami doon. Tas yung flight namin is midnight to LA. It was midnight, oo. Madaling araw siya sa Hong Kong, tas 13 hours flight. Yun yung pinaka, parang na-trauma talaga ako na parang, how can I go back to the Philippines na hindi ko yun ma-experience ulit? Kasi long flight talaga siya. It was the first time na I was sitting in the inside the airplane for 13 hours, and then nag-acid reflux ako, ang daming emergencies, parang gusto ko nang bumaba, na parang, ano ba to? Tapos, it was a very good idea na nandun yung husband ko. Kasi, kasi mostly mga J1 teachers, sila lang muna yung pupunta kasi magastos. And then, tama lang yun talaga yung decision ko na dalhin ko na lang yung husband ko, magkasama kami. Kasi, if it would have been me lang, parang napakahirap noon. And I really wanna, parang dun pa lang, parang gusto ko nang bumalik. So, parang nagkasakit ako inside the airplane. Buti na lang may dala din akong medicine. It's very important na may dala ka sa sa personal bag mo na medicine, kasi it's very helpful din, kasi parang ang taas ng 13 hours, half a day siya. So yun lang yung pinaka-intense doon. And then pagdating namin sa LAX, sa Los Angeles, na-shock ako kasi nagsisirado pala yung airport nila. Nagko-close ang airport nila doon. They close at midnight ata. So wala silang lounge na parang higaan mo talaga. Nakikita ko yung mga tao nandun lang sa upuan. Tas 8 hours yung layover namin doon sa LA. 8 hours. So parang gabi kami na dumating, bukas pa yung flight namin papuntang last flight sa Las Vegas, which is yun na lang after doon, land trip na lang. So ang nangyari, naghintay kami doon, natulog. Parang ako, I was also very mindful din kasi nga bagong country siya, and then I've heard a lot about maraming ding mga mga instances na may kumukuha ng bags or nagtatanim ng mga ganyan. So what we did is that ako muna natutulog, tapos after that yung husband ko naman pinapatulog ko, tapos palitan lang kami para may nagbabantay sa mga luggage. Kasi kukunin mo na doon yung luggage mo yun nga, kung saan yung port of entry mo, doon mo kukunin yung lahat ng check-in baggage mo, which is yung check-in, yung bag, yung luggage namin lahat 6. So yun, sanglitan lang kami ng tulog para may nagbabantay sa mga bags. Tsaka afternoon, when it was morning, delayed pa rin 1 hour delay. So it's like, gutom na kami, morning na. So naghahanap kami ng mga pagkain. Na-shock talaga ako sa yung na-afford, yung parang afford lang namin bilhin yung apple. kasi parang $1 lang siya or $2. Kasi parang nagko-compute ka pa Nagko-compute pag bago ka dito sa Amerika, nagko-convert ka pa Magkano yung bagels nila, parang yung lang sa atin, parang simple bread lang yun, 'di ba? Na siya, $9. Ilan ba yun sa Philippine peso? Napakamahal naman. 500 yung so ginawa namin, naghanap talaga kami ng store na parang medyo afford, medyo yung para may makain lang talaga kami that morning. At may mga baon pa rin naman kami na mga boiled egg. Importante rin yun. May baon kami boiled egg. So parang just to fill in the, yung body namin. So yun, nakasurvive naman din.
Sino yung sumundo sa inyo sa Las Vegas pa?
Las Vegas.
Sino yung sumundo sa inyo?
In-arrange po yun ng school district namin kasi tinanong ko rin yan before yung flight na sino yung sino yung magdadala sa amin doon, and then may third party agency din sila na tumutulong, na sila yung kumukuha ng mga teachers from the airport going to our home dito na sa Bullhead City.
Sino naman nag-arrange ng living kung saan kayo tumira?
Ang nangyari, doon pa kami sa Pinas, naghahanap na kami ng paraan kasi they don't do it pero yung third-party agency nila, naghahanap ng mga apartment, pero you have to do the rest of it. Ang ginagawa lang nila, okay, may apartment dito, binibigay lang nila yung phone number.
So ikaw na lang yung
magko-contact. Ikaw na magko-contact, ikaw na mag-arrange. Tapos, napakahirap because of the time difference. Kasi kung yung morning dito, parang natutulog tayo dun sa Pinas. So, ang nangyari niyan, yung Filipino teacher na nandito na, may nakilala ko, which is, siya yung nag-arrange ng lahat. So, pagdating namin dito, ready na lahat. may house na may apartment na kami, may mga ganun na. Siya yung nag-down payment, pero nagsisend kami ng money sa kanya. Nandun pa sa Philippines. So, before kami pumunta dito, inarrange namin kung saan kami titira para okay na pagpunta dito. But the only thing, parang may isang challenge lang dun kasi wala pang kuryente. Iba kasi dito sa Amerika, kung may nag-rent sa apartment, ikaw yung mag-a-apply ng kuryente. Tapos kapag aalis na yung renter, wala na rin, puputulin din yung kuryente. Parang na-shock din ako nun, ganito pala. Kasi yung sa Philippines, di ba, ano lang, continuous lang. Pwede ka nang umalis pag nag-ano ka na, kung gusto mo nang lumayas. Dito iba pala. So, ang nangyari niyan, parang 3 days o 4 na days kaming walang kuryente sa aming apartment. So, ang nangyari, doon muna kami natulog sa isang teacher na yun yung nag-arrange. Kasi malaki naman yung apartments nila dito. So, doon kami natulog sa isang room, extra room ng apartment niya. At saka, after that, nag-apply kami ng kuryente. Tapos, yun na, after 5 days or 4 days ba yun, nakapunta na kami, naka-live na kami sa apartment namin.
Kasi yung appointment, hindi naman, kaya i-book mo pa yung appointment kung kailan yung available nila na electrician pumunta. Ano? And it could be 1 week from now. It could be tomorrow. It could be 1 week from now.
Yes.
Anong month kayo dumating dito?
It was July 2024.
Summer talaga yun.
Summer talaga. Yun parang na-feel ko din talaga. Yun parang nabaptize talaga kami ng init dito. Naka-experience po ako pagdating talaga namin, it was 150. Yun lang yun. 150, parang na-shock talaga ako. Kasi we're in a tropical country in the Philippines kasi it's not new to us. You know, the heat is not new to us. Pero yung heat talaga dito, pagdating namin nung July, parang nasa oven ka talaga. So it was, napaka-shocking talaga siya sa akin.
Ma'am, tell me about your first day in school with your students.
So yeah, during my first day of school, first grade yung tinuturuan ko. So nag-research talaga ako kung ano-ano ang mga behaviors nila dito, ano ang dapat kong i-ready. Yung ginawa ko is, hindi ako nagsasmile sa kanila ng super, super smile. And I think it was very effective kasi that is you will get your first impression, tsaka they will see your first impression also. Parang nagbe-build sila ng anong klaseng teacher to, pwede ba tong ganyan sila pwede ba to ganyan. So first day of school, stricto talaga ako. Pagdating nila, parang playful talaga sila, malilikot. Sabi ko, okay, good morning. Every time you come to the classroom, you always have to greet the teacher, good morning. Tapos yun. Tapos sila, first things first, yung classroom rules, talaga ni-discuss, yung routine, kung paano sila, pinractice namin lahat. So, walang, dito sa US, 1 week kasing walang instruction na formal. Pag first week of school, ang ginagawa is, parang routines lahat ang pinapractice. Routines lahat. So, 1 week, walang mga ituturo, wala pang mga reading, gano'n, wala pang counting, talaga lahat, classroom management. So, pinaktis namin lahat, paano pumunta sa line, paano maglakad sa hallway, saan ilalagay yung kamay, yun. So, I built the classroom procedures on the very first day, at saka, pina-feel ko sa kanila na I'm firm and reasonable at the same time. So, ko sila na they will earn rewards and they can also lose rewards if if they don't follow the rules or may sila na hindi sila nag-participate. So of course kids, kasi yung maganda lang kasi sa early childhood, which is yung kindergarten, first grade, talaga naniniwala sila sa lahat ng sinasabi mo Unlike sa higher grades, tsaka sinabi ko sa sarili ko na hindi ko talaga kayang mag-teach dito ng 3rd grade and higher. But in the Philippines,
na kasi
may isip na na sila, they can reason out. Ganyan kasi sila, very vocal. So, ang nangyari doon is, naniniwala naman sila sa mga pinapagawa ko sa kanila, tsaka in-explain ko talaga sila. So, it was not, kasi nag-expect ako ng worst Sabi ko, I have to prepare for the worst, kasi para alam ko kung kakayanin ko ba or what. But at the end of the day, yung first day of school, at the end of the day, sabi ko, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. On my grade level, kasi we have different experiences. On my end lang, parang, it was not bad. I pretty have a good day.
Sa Philippines, ano yung tiniteach mo sa Philippines? First grade din ba?
Kindergarten. But my experience din ako na nag-teach ng first grade.
Ano yung differences ng first graders dito sa first graders sa Philippines?
Napakalaki. Kasi sa first grader sa Philippines, you have to learn how to read already. Alam mo na magbasa. Alam mo na magbasa. Most especially when I was teaching in a private school, it was one of the prerequisite na pag grade 1 ka na, dapat alam mo na, marunong ka nang magbasa. Dito is,
hindi pa sila marunong.
Hindi pa. Pero maybe it's just the group of the students that I have today. Pero yung ano lang talaga, yung learning lang sa basic reading, yung first grader sa Pinas, parang mas advanced sila when it comes to reading. Dito parang, okay, kailangan pa silang anuhin. So yun lang, yung parang yung reading, at saka yung writing, oh my gosh. Kasi kindergarten ako sa Philippines. Pagkatapos nila ng kindergarten for after 10 months, alam na nila yung blue to blue, red to blue. Ganun. Dito is like, wala silang line. Parang isa lang yung line nila. So, kahit saan mo gustong, nasusulatan nila sa, yung kindergarten ko sa Philippines, nasusulatan nila yung full name nila. Dito, hindi pa.
Saka dito, hindi na nila ni-enforce yung penmanship.
Oo. Kaya nga, it was really funny because I have a student, yung parang, daughter ng co-teacher ko. Tapos nagtanong ako, do you like it more in the Philippines or do you like it more in America when it comes to studying and having to go to school? Sabi niya, I want it more here. Why? Why do you like America? Sabi niya, because we don't write as much as sabi niya talaga doon. We don't write as much as we do in the Philippines. And my hands, it has a bubble. Parang yung kalos, yung blisters. Sabi ko, yeah, I agree. Kasi hindi masyado silang into very, very much. Kasi sa Pinas, copy the board. Ganyan talaga. Most especially if you're already elementary, yung second grades, ganun. Copy ka talaga, ganun.
First grade ko, naalala ko pa, pinapasulat ka ng first name, last name mo sa whole sheet ng paper. Tapos script pa yun.
Oo nga.
Oo. Naalala ko nga yung almost tapos na ako ng pagsusulat. Tapos check ng teacher. Kulang pala yung apelyido ko ng isang L.
Oo nga, ganun. Ganun yung penmanship sa atin. Grabe yung stricto sila dun. Dito parang, as long as you can write.
Nung nagulat nga ako nung kinorek ko yung anak ko one time na sabi ko you have to improve your penmanship. Tapos sabi niya, well, our teachers really don't care about that. Sabi ko, wow. Tapos yung parang chicken scratch pa yun.
Kaya nga.
Sa Pilipinas, grade 1, script na yung tinuturo eh.
Totoo.
Sa apakada.
Oo.
How about naman yung staff sa school mo? How are they?
On my end, sa mga co-teachers ko lang, not let's just exclude the admin for a minute lang. They're very welcoming, very helpful kasi pag yung nalaman nila na we came from the Philippines and nobody arranged kung saan kami titira, parang nag-aambag sila ng money, tsaka kami lahat binigyan na kami ng cash. At the same time, lahat ng mga bagay na wala pa sa apartment namin, sila nagbigay. Tapos sabi lang, may karaoke kami, sinong gusto. May extra TV kami, may couch, ganun, lahat. May couch, may table. Kasi yung apartment dito, wala eh. Wala siyang unfurnished. Wala siyang mga bagay. So, kami lahat. So, yun, very helpful sila. Yung mga blanket, mga unan, mga bago lahat. So, yun, very helpful. When it comes naman to admin, it really is different yung mga cases dito sa America. There are admins that I've heard that are very welcoming, that are very supportive. Dito naman, they are supportive, they are welcoming, pero at the same time, iba pag yung admin mo is matagal na sa school or yung admin mo is bago lang. Kasi sumusunod pa sila sa mga rules eh.
Tama.
One by one, sumusunod pa sila. So it's like, yung pressure na binibigay rin ng district sa kanila, napupunta rin sa mga teachers. Kasi yun eh. parang you have to improve as a school. So, as an admin, you have to push your teachers. Parang ganun. And then, yung isang ang colleague ko na teaching for 30 years, sinabi niya, hindi niya naiintindihan yung admin. Bakit nila ginagawin sa amin na, bakit pa nga pinupush nyo sila na kakarating lang nila dito and then you have to give them like the whole plate, and then go do it. Parang ganon. So, naintindihan nila kami, yung mga teachers na local, naintindihan nila kami. Sabi niya na, talaga, hindi reasonable yung ginagawa ng mga admin ng ganon.
Pagdating mo ba dito, may principal na yung school nyo?
Meron na, bago lang. It's her first.
Yan yung current na, ngayon, yung principal ngayon.
The current principal.
Kasi there was one time yata na walang principal yung
Yes,
back then.
yung last school year, wala sila.
So pagdating mo yung first year mo dito, first year din ng principal
first year
niya.
din ng principal. Ganun yung nangyari.
So kumusta na ngayon yung admin sa school niyo?
Okay, ginagawa lang din naman nila yung trabaho nila. But at the same time, parang may time nga na miniting kami lahat ng Filipino kasi we were 10 Filipino teachers sa school. Miniting niya kami, yung principal lang at saka kami kasi nafe-feel niya yung heaviness siguro or the vibe that was in the environment. So hindi ko alam, hindi ako unang nagsalita kasi pinasalita niya kami isa-isa. Saan kami nahihirapan, ganun. Yung mga ibang Pinoy, umiiyak na sila. Pagtingin ko, umiiyak na. We were like, ganun na sila. Parang ako, oh my God. Pag iyak ng isang Pinoy teachers, kami lahat umiiyak kasi nafe-feel namin, bago kasi kami lahat. Like, parang isa lang dun, dalawa lang sila na, tatlo, na parang hindi na first year. So the rest, 7 of us, first year. So, yung feelings namin talaga pare-pareho, ganun. Na-shock sa mga bata, na-shock sa mga pinagagawa. Kasi it's different, it's really way different than what we do in the Philippines. We have paperworks too, we have but then, parang sinabi ko talaga, they're super, super serious about it. Walang time to breathe. Work. Parang whole 8 hours. Wala kang time na huminga. Work. Ganon. So, ang nangyari, tinatanong niya kami, but at the same time, wala namang nagbabago. Alam kong tinatry niya, pero walang nagbabago. Kaya, hinahayaan na lang namin. Hindi na kami nagsasabi ng mga saloobin namin. Kasi wala rin namang nangyari. So, we just talk about it, kami na lang nagte-therapy sa self namin. kami na lang din at saka let's just do it one day at a time. Malapit nang tapos yung week, ganun na lang.
Ano yung biggest mo na cultural shock dito?
Siguro hindi super big. Yung yung tipping system dito. It's
Sobra.
a way of life.
Sobra.
Like naiintindihan ko naman kasi my husband works as a cook. So I also learned how to tip na doon sa Pinas pa lang. Pero dito parang may dapat itong percentage yung ibibigay mo. So I also tried to do it. Pero kasi kung ano yung bill mo, dapat may certain percentage na dapat mo talagang ilagay na tip. Kasi parang parang you're rude pag hindi mo hindi ka nagbibigay ng tip. You're rude. Parang ganun yung nila dito. Yun yung isa. At saka siguro yung yung mga tao or mga locals na nagigreet sa'yo like every time, how are you? How are you doing? Like parang kahit hindi mo sila ka-close or hindi mo kilala or nakita mo lang sila sa daan, they are very welcoming, nagtatanong sila, ganon. Tapos hindi mo na lang alam ano yung sasagot mo, kung okay ka ba talaga, how are you doing, ganon. Kasi sa atin hindi masyado pag hindi mo inaano. Dito very sila, very expressive sila.
Pero yung difference in my case kasi I've also lived in New York na medyo busy. In that situation din yung New York culture is wala ring pansinan dito very open yung tao. Also in California, ganun sila. They will greet you kahit na hindi ka nila kilala. For the most part, sa New York, wala rin silang pakialam. Kasi for example sa New York, if you just say hi to somebody na hindi mo kilala, parang
Sketchy ka na.
what do you want? Or, ano bang kailangan nito? Bakit niya kinakausap?
Ah.
Pero that's just for like mga New Yorkers. Pero syempre pag if you see another Filipino na Pinoy ka pala din, is still a welcoming na situation. Did you ever know na marami palang Pilipina dito sa Bulacan?
Oo, alam ko na. Kasi before ako dumating dito, sinearch ko yung district. Chinek ko yung mga staff.
Okay,
Pinoy talaga lahat. Yung most especially the junior high school, parang 80% sa kanila Pinoy. So sabi ko, ang daming Pinoy doon.
Kasi nakalagay sa website nila yun, pati yung picture mo
Oo,
nakalagay
yung
doon
picture. Oo, yung
tapos
picture.
sa apelyido, saka yung face mo plus yung apelyido mo, Pinoy ito.
Oo nga. Yan yung ginagawa ko na para makikonnect. So nakita ko sa school ko, oy, may Pinoy dito. Chinat ko sila sa Facebook. Hinanap ko sila sa Facebook.
Okay,
Yun yung ginawa ko actually.
Welcoming naman sila. Helpful naman sila pag in-approach mo silang ganun.
Yes, they are. Katulad ng nag-arrange ng apartment namin. She's very helpful. May iba rin na mga yung mga nauna dito na parang hello, parang may superiority din sila na, uy, kami yung nauna dito. So we know everything that you don't need to know or hindi niyo parang alam. So ganun. Parang it was also a mixture. A mixture of people that,
merong friendly, meron ding parang
may friendly, meron
so friendly.
ding parang okay, parang
So ilan na kayong Pilipino ngayon sa school nyo?
10 po.
10.
Current,
Meron bang mga drama doon na pwede mong i-chika sa amin?
So far, meron, may isa, kasi yung 9, 10 kami. So kaming 9, makakasundo kami lahat. Parang, ganun, nagkakasundo kami ng mga nilalait namin yung mga pinagagagawa nila sa amin, ganun. May isa rin na parang very difficult to be with kasi she was already an admin in the Philippines. She's a principal in the Philippines. I don't know if maririnig niya to or but I don't care. So the thing is, may ganyan talaga. Dinadala nila yung kasi iba pag nandun ka sa Philippines tas you are a doctorate, may doctorate degree ka, may master's degree ka, or ano ka ba dun, anong mga title mo dun, LPT, PhD, ano ba. Pagdating mo dito, hindi
tama.
Kahit pa nga ka dun, engineer ka dun, pagdating mo dito, magkukuskus ka ng ganun, di ba? So, may iba kasi na dinadala nila yung yung authority nila dun, tsaka dito, but we're just the same. We were all teachers.
Tama.
So dapat you act as one, hindi yung kami yung pinagagawa mo sa lahat ng dapat mong gawin or dapat mong matutunan. Tas lahat na lang ikaw ang hinihinga ng ikaw okay lang naman sa akin na tumulong, pero ayokong mag-spoon feed.
Right, tama.
Right? So, yan, may iba, may kakilala ako sa school na gusto niya spoon feed siya. Like,
kasi ganun yung system sa Philippines. Pag ikaw yung admin doon, yung mga
correct. Yung
sa
mga
baba
galamay mo yung gumagawa ng trabaho mo. Tapos ikaw
mag-uutos ka na lang.
True. Yan, exactly. That's the exact behavior na nag-uutos. Tapos nag-uutos na parang entitled sila na nag-uutos sila. Tapos like, ako, it's my first year and it was her third year. So parang like, dapat ako ang magtanong or dapat ako ang mag-ask na help kasi bago ako. And it's the other way around. Parang hindi niya alam, parang 3 years na siya dito pero hindi niya alam yung mga rules and all and anong ginagawa ng ganito. And it's like, oh my gosh, parang ganun.
Kasi merong iba na nahihirapan sila mag-assimilate sa culture. Kung ano yung dala nilang culture, nahihirapan sila mag-adjust sa culture dito.
True.
Okay, sige. So, let's say na you're a boss sa Pilipinas. Pagdating mo dito, you have to do your own thing.
Yes,
diba?
Exactly.
Yung status mo, pag sakay mo ng aeroplano, iwan mo na yun sa Philippines.
Correct.
Kasi you're not going to be the same person pagdating mo dito.
Totoo.
Kahit pa sabihin mo na, let's say sabihin mo sa Philippines, ganito ako. Well, not anymore. You're not in the Philippines
Correct.
anymore. Dito pareho na tayo. We're plain, we're
I
level.
agree.
Doesn't matter kung superintendent ka man
Correct.
sa Pilipinas, kung ano, kahit na secretary ka pa ng DepEd sa Pilipinas. Pagdating mo dito, J1 ka, we're the same.
Correct,
Diba?
tama po. Tapos yung isang tao na alam ko, dinala pa rin niya. Kahit kailangan mo na, sinasabi niya talaga na, ano ako? Doon sa Philippines, ano ako?
Right.
Oo nga. I just don't deal with them anymore.
So, just one point of advice no, sa mga J1 aspirants na pagdating nyo dito, leave your status sa NAIA.
Correct.
Kasi pagdating mo dito, just think na this is gonna be the same as your first year as a teacher ever. Wag mo nang magtaas no dito na just because you were ganito yung position mo in the Philippines. Magpakumbaba.
Correct.
Diba? And it's easier to approach anyway yung colleagues mo kung hindi ka ganun yung pag-asta mo,
Yes.
diba? Hindi yung
Totoo po.
dito we don't like bosses na very bossy. We want you to be understanding ng situation, 'di ba? Or be like hands-on na boss. Hindi yung boss na uutusan mo lang ako to do things. Kasi ginawa rin sa akin 'yun ng isang manager ko eh. Sabi niya titrain daw niya ako ng mga gawain ng pang-manager, 'di ba? So, yung ginawa niya, lahat ng trabaho niya, pinasa niya sa akin on the guys na tinitrain daw niya ako. Pero, nagigets ko naman, pero sabi ko, okay, for now, I'll accept it. Kasi
Pinoy po ba siya?
Hindi.
Okay.
Hindi. Pero, yun yung ko, in the beginning, welcoming din ako. Kasi gusto kong ma-learn kung ano yung trabaho niya, just in case na naging management din ako
Correct.
later.
Oo nga.
Pero nanonotice ko na parang sinasadya na talaga na kunwari, I'm just trying to train you, that's why I'm giving you this job, di ba? Ngayon naabot ko na yung style na. Thankfully naman, naabot din ng higher ups na yun pala yung ginagawa niya sa akin. So, sinasabi nila na minomonitor na nila ngayon kung ano yung ginagawa ko and whether or not she is doing yung kanyang sarili din.
Oo, yung scope ng work niya.
Kasi nung na-notice ko nung na-promote siya and then I got yung position niya, binabantayan niya ako. Kasi when she was doing things, it takes her hours to do her job. Tapos nung ako yung nakaupo doon, it doesn't take all day to do this.
To do
diba?
the
Like
task.
within a couple hours tapos na. Yun pala alam niya na for real, yung trabaho na to, it only takes a couple hours to do, not the whole day. So, kaya niya pala ako binabantayan. Tapos yung sabi niya, I'm just checking on you if you need help. Sabi ko, I don't think so.
Oo nga. Alam natin, mafe-feel natin yun eh.
So, ngayon, sa mga bosses sa Pilipinas, pagdating nyo dito, please, iwan nyo na lang yung status nyo again sa NAIA and start from the very beginning.
Correct.
Just be down to earth pa kumbaga.
Correct po.
Ma'am, tawag dito, pag free time nyo, anong ginagawa nyo?
Wala masyadong free time.
Let's say, days off, how do you spend your days off?
Ano talaga? House chores. House chores. Kasi wala masyadong time pag weekdays kasi nagprepare ka ng mga activities mo the next day kasi nga first year pa, kapag first year mo, I don't know if it's gonna make a difference sa second year mo and so on. Kasi first year pa wala ka pang mga wala ka pang preparations, yung mga slides, wala ka pa noon. You're from scratch, you're doing it from scratch. So medyo parang everyday ginagawa mo pa siya ganun. So weekend lang talaga. There's time in a weekend na nanonood talaga ng mga movies at saka K-drama. Nagdi-decompress talaga. Lumalabas talaga, nagpapaaraw. Kasi din, parang on my end, kasi nandito sa US, wala kang friends na parang close mo talaga at saka yung wala yung family. Ang ginagawa ko, nagpa-plan ako ng isang bagay na nilook forward ko at the end of the week. So at this point, parang this week, manonood ako ng movie. Para may nilook forward lang ako. Pag may, pag may mga mataas na break, for example, spring break, Thanksgiving break, napaplano talaga ako ng saan tayo pupunta, yung bagong place, para talaga i-reward yung sarili mo sa paghihirap na ginawa mo sa trabaho. So, yan, every week nag-aano ako, kahit simple lang na dapat at the end of the week, magbo-bowling kami. Ganon.
Mm.
Parang it doesn't take naman $100 to do that or like,
Sa Riverside.
Oo, sa Riverside. Oo, sa Riverside. O magchichika tayo while nagbo-bowling. Ganon. So, sa the other week naman, sige, punta tayo ng Starbucks. Mag-usap tayo doon. Yun lang. Tsaka the other week naman, mag-jogging tayo sa river, yung palapit sa river. Tapos may ibang times na, yan lang, parang sa bahay lang, tsaka nanonood nagbi-binge watch ng K-drama. Ganon. Parang yun lang. Parang dapat every week talaga may nilook forward ka na parang activity. It doesn't have to be really expensive. Kumain ka lang ng burger, okay na dun. Okay na yun.
Nag-drive ka na ba, ma'am?
Hindi pa po. Pero may student license na ako.
May permit ka na?
May permit na ako.
Pero si Habi, nagda-drive na?
Nagda-drive
May
na.
kotse na kayo?
Meron na po.
So at least kung gusto nyong gumalaga ng konti, you can do it on your own. You don't have to depend on somebody.
Correct.
So nagpa-practice kayo ni Mr. mo?
Oo, pero hindi masyado. Parang natatakot pa ako kasi yung naka-drive ako sa Pinas na, may license din po ako doon. Pero the difference here is that parang kasi yung fear ko mas grabe pa siya compare sa desire ko na maka-drive kasi natatakot ako na magkamali at saka pag nagkamali ako, I'm not a citizen here. I'm not a local here. So parang I'm scared of what's next. Kung nakaano ako, anong mangyayari sa visa ko. Parang gano'n na nag-anxiety. So parang hindi ko kailangan problema ng ganyan. Hindi na muna. Pero ready naman ako pag kung need na talaga. Ganun.
For peace of mind naman talaga when you start driving and you're driving a car, meron naman talagang insurance. So, if you get into an accident na talagang genuine accident na you did not purposely run over somebody, covered naman talaga ng insurance yun. So, just for your peace of mind.
Oh, yeah.
Pero if you purposely na run over somebody, then yeah, ma-in trouble ka talaga, di ba? Just because nakita mo yung hindi mo gustong colleague mo dun sa parking lot, that doesn't mean na pwede mo na siyang run over, di ba? Yung may in trouble ka niyan. Pero kung if you're just driving and then for some weird reason na aksidente ka, that's why yung car insurance is a must.
Oo nga, yun yung big difference dito. Dapat I'm not sure if we also do that in the Philippines na it's really a mandatory na may car insurance. Parang it's not. I'm not sure.
Hindi lang ako sure. Nung nagpa-register ako ng motorcycle one time, na-require nila ako kumuha ng insurance. However, hindi ko alam kung gaano ba kagaling yung insurance doon. So, pag na-aksidente ka, can you really rely on the insurance? Kasi dito mabilis lang eh. Once you get into an accident, depende sa schedule mo. For example, sa akin, it was my fault actually na nung nagbabacking kami ng van kasi sabi nung magto-tow. Kasi namatay yung battery. So, I had to have it towed sa dealership. So, ngayon, sabi nung tow truck driver, sabi niya, get inside the car. Sabi niya, I'll push it. Kasi palabas ng driveway. Sabi ko, mahiya naman ako. Diba? So, sabi ko, no, I'll help you. Sabi ko, ganon. Let me open the door. Sabi ko, I'll steer. So, binaback up namin. So, yung position ko ngayon, yung door nasa likod ko, tapos binaback up naman yung kotse. Tapos maya-maya, bigla ako na nalinak crank na ganon. Akala ko may na-hit ako dun sa likod. Tapos yun pala, yung door ko, bumangga dun sa cement na garden ba? Ano tawag dun yung parang pot na garden. Talagang nag-flip over siya. Kinabahan tuloy yung tow truck driver. Sabi niya, I did not do that. Sabi niya kasi ako yung nandun eh. So sabi ko, sorry, that was my fault kasi ako yung nag-open ng door. So it's my fault. So tinawagan ko lang insurance. I told them what happened. Sabi nila, okay, just follow yung direction sa app. Yung sa app naman, sasabihin na ako, take a picture this side, take a picture that that side. Tapos yun na, and then within 48 hours, binigyan na nila ako ng quote. So this is how much it's gonna cost you to fix your car. Ito yung recommended namin na place, but you could pick one na gusto mo. And then kung kung gusto mong ipatingin ulit sa iba pang mechanic, you can do that also. So for example, kung sabihin nila na yung cost ng repair mo is only $1,000, you could go to your own mechanic and have it reassessed. Tapos sila na ngayon yung mag-uusap. So yung mechanic sasabihin, kasi hindi mo na makikita yung pera na yun eh. It's gonna be between the insurance and then yung shop. So sabihin ngayon ng shop na yung estimate mo 1,000. However, yung actual na cost to repair is 3,000. Then sila na yung bahalang mag-negotiate doon as long as yung sa'yo as the owner ng car is ma-fix lang nila yung damages.
Yung damage.
So that was my fault actually.
So ang nag-shoulder nun, sir, yung yung insurance.
Yung insurance, however, since it was my fault, tumaas ng konti yung aking premium.
Okay.
So yun lang yun yung titingnan mo kung magka-claim ka sa insurance dito is magkano ba talaga yung babayaran mo to repair it. Kasi kung for example mga $1,000 lang naman, you could just go ahead and pay it yourself. Kasi yung although na it's $1,000, ngayon pag ni-report mo yon, and then sabihin ng insurance company, okay, we will pay this one, however it was your fault. Ngayon, tataasan namin ng plus 100 yung premium mo per month. So lugi ka pa sa long kahit
in the long run.
Kahit sabihin lang natin na okay, we will increase yung premium by $50 per month. Kasi in the long term ngayon talo ka. What if ma-aksidente ka ulit the following year, then tataasan nila ulit. So yun yung sabi sa akin ng isang insurance agent, sabi niya, kung yung damages mo lang naman is mga 1,000, 1,500, it's just better off na just pay it yourself rather than you claim it through the insurance company kasi makaka-affect pa yun ng insurance
Premium
rating
mo.
mo. So talo ka in the long run. So yun lang yung kasi yung ma-peace of mind mo in terms of driving.
Totoo.
May insurance naman talaga.
Totoo nga.
So hopefully
Bago ma-expire yung student permit. Kasi 1 year lang yun.
Kailan ka ba nakakuha ng permit mo?
December last year, 2024.
2020. Okay, so meron ka pang 3 months pa lang. 24. 3 months pa
Tapos, natatakot ako mag-practice ng summer kasi ang init. Baka...
May aircon naman eh.
Oo nga. Basta we'll see. Basta siguro, pag nape-pressure ako pag malapit na. So parang siguro, yung license ko malapit na. So,
pero yung how's your, kasi driving instructor ako dati, that's why I'm curious. How's yung mga turns mo?
Yun yung weakness ko. Yung turns talaga, matagal. Kasi yun yung parang matagal ako makabangon sa Kasi ka, diba? Miniminor mo bago ka lumiko sa current speed mo. So ang nangyari niyan, pag nakaliko na ako, matagal ako maka-accelerate ulit.
Okay.
So yun, nagti-take time siya tapos yung mga sa likod, parang nape-pressure kasi ako yung mga tao yung mga
naghihintay sa likod.
Sasakyan na naghihintay or if I, matagal akong makausad pagkatapos mag-turn.
Yung suggestion ko niyan dito, since there's a lot of places na hindi masyadong ma-traffic. Pick one ng isang block lang and then for the beginning practice mo lang yung right turns mo around the block. Like don't focus too much na magda-drive ka somewhere. Like pick yung spot na yon and then just drive around the block, right turns until perfect or near perfect mo yung right turns and then go back. Left turns naman, left turns. Puro lang lahat ng left turns. And then pag komportable ka na rin doon both sa right turns and left turns mo, doon na yung pwede mo na siyang okay, mag-right turn ako dito, mag-left turn ako doon. Pero same area lang din. So in the beginning, isang block, no? And then pag mo na yung right turns, left turns mo, 2 blocks, 'di ba? Meron ka ng right turn, left turn. Pero doon lang din. Tapos as you get comfortable, drive 3 blocks away, 5 blocks away, blocks away. Rather than, okay, let's go to Walmart, ikaw mag-drive. Wala ka pang experience. Kahit na may instructor ka na sumasabay sa'yo. Kung minsan, it's better. Kasi yun yung style namin. Think about it, yung nagtuturo ako sa New York City mismo.
Oo nga, napaka-traffic.
However, we don't really teach traffic areas. There are certain pockets sa New York City na very quiet actually. Residential sa walang masyadong tourist na areas. Doon kami nagpa-practice. Yun yung hindi ko rin na-realize before I became an instructor sa New York na marami palang spots na ganon. Kasi pag sinabi mo, I'm going to New York City, yung first thing to come in mind is Empire State, Times Square, busy areas,
busy
maraming yellow cabs, diba?
Oo.
Pero hindi, it's not like that. It's not too many, it's not too common, pero may mga areas around the city na it's very quiet, it's good for practicing. So doon lang kami for the full hour, we don't go anywhere. Doon lang kami, right turn, left turn, right turn, left turn, right turn, until na mag-comfortable na yung student. And then we venture out a little bit further, little by little. Hindi namin sila na sasabak agad, let's go to Times Square.
Oo nga.
Kasi masashock yung system mo. And then yung learning mo is slower. So kung sino yung naturo sa'yo sa hobby lang din,
Oo.
may patience naman si hobby.
Wala.
Which is true. Kahit ako, I'm an instructor, pero wala rin akong patience to teach my wife. She will tell you na I teach her a little bit, pero I actually hired an actual driving school to teach her. Hindi siya nag-learn sa akin 100%. Kasi I know na, I don't know, yung sa'yo, for example, yung na-notice ko kasi pag husband and wife, kung minsan nagbabangayan.
True.
Kasi if I tell you something, kung ikaw yung wife ko, is hindi mo kaagad ina-absorb yung sinasabi ko sa'yo. And depending kung minsan sa tone ko,
Correct.
kasi kilala mo na ako, sense mo ngayon yung inis ko ba?
Mainis
You know,
na. Oo, totoo.
Pero pag ako yung nagturo sa'yo, hindi mo man-notice na naiinis na ako kasi you don't know me.
Oo, totoo. Oo
Pero
nga.
kung husband mo, lahat ng little na intonation ng speech niya, alam mo na kung ano yung mood niya eh. Kung excited ba siya, sad ba siya, o galit siya na, right turn dito. Why did you do that? Masa-sense mo yun. So that's where it becomes difficult, I think, in my opinion. Kaya hindi ko siya ni-teach ng 100%. Kasi even, kahit nga lang sumagot siya sa akin, I don't know kung if she means it or not, mami-misinterpret ko yung sagot niya sa akin. Pag sinabi ko na nga, for example, pag kinorek ko nga, you should do it this way. Pag sinabi niya, I know. Parang masisense ko na, parang, yata yan, di ba?
Yan din ang namin sa amin. Na there was a time na nag-practice kami, tapos sumigaw siya. Sabi ko, uuwi na ako. Ayoko na. Yun. Hindi na ako nag-practice.
So yun yung dapat dapat patience, and then kung ano man yung the way siya na mag-talk sa'yo during the lesson is just ignore it. Diba? Don't take it personal. Yun lang yung masasuggest ko.
So may ano rin po ba dito? Parang driving school na nagtuturo talaga ng...
As far as I know, in this area, isa lang from Lake Havasu yung one and only driving school and one and only driving instructor. I don't know kung meron pang iba na nag-open up. Pero as far as I heard, yung isang friend ko na went through that lady, babae yata eh. Hindi raw siya thorough kasi she knows that she's the only one here. So she just have you drive around. Not really giving you proper instructions ba? Kasi yung business eh. So, yun din yung ano ko nung before. I do my job, pero as much as possible, ina-upsell ko rin yung students ko. Let's sabihin na natin, everybody needs room for improvement.
Totoo.
Pero kahit alam ko na, okay, maybe in 5 hours, you'll do okay. I-try pa rin kitang i-upsell eh. Na, you know what, you're gonna need, 5, on top of your 5, you need 5 more lessons. Ganon talaga yung, sa driving school, ganon yung style namin eh. Even though, kasi kahit na ako magaling na ako, nung in-evaluate ako ng isang instructor, akala ko perfect yung driving ko eh. Tapos sabi niya, you make your turns too short. Hindi ko yaman yata naalala na, yung short turn is masyado kang malapit sa, for example, pag right turn mo, masyado kang malapit sa curb. Very, very, very close. So yung dapat na right turn kasi is close enough na yung position ng car is nagko-communicate. So everybody na you're making a right turn. Pero pag too close ka, you're communicating na you might be parking. Sabi niya, you're making your right turns a little bit too short. I disagree, pero yun yung nakita niya sa driving ko. Hindi raw. Akala ko 0 yung errors ko.
Oh.
Pero na-hurt din ako ng konti. Kasi, so what? Meron pa akong 3 points na nakuha from her. Pero sabi naman niya later on, sabi niya, nobody drives perfect. She never gives a perfect score to anybody. Yun yung sabi niya. So kahit na medyo maganda niya yung driving mo talaga, she would just take random things na she could get away with na i-minus dun sa points mo. So hopefully that will ease up yung nyo, yung pag nagpa-practice kayong dalawang mag-asawa, kasi I don't recommend it to anybody na mag-asawa, yung husband is wife, yung husband yung tititeach sa wife, o wife tititeach sa husband. Pero if it's necessary, patience. Patience talaga.
Totoo. True.
Ma'am, first year mo pa lang sabi mo?
Yes po.
Nabigyan ka na ba ng renewal contract for next
Yes
year?
po.
How does
Nabigyan
that feel?
Grateful po. Kasi alam ko na doon pa lang sa Philippines na hindi rin assurance na you'll be here for 5 years. Kasi 3 to 5 years lang eh. Tapos, isa rin yan sa dapat mo i-consider na risk. Kasi hindi mo alam kung how they evaluate you.
Tama.
Kasi nga sa Philippines, not to brag, but yung scores ko very satisfactorily. I mean, good talaga. Like, consistently. So, maganda yung feedback ng mentors ko, ng mga evaluators ko. Tapos, pagdating ko dito, it's different kasi the way they plan a class or a lesson and how they teach it. It's different in a way na iba yung arrangement nila. They don't, kasi just a glance of it. Sa Philippines kasi, yung lesson natin is dapat yung bata yung makadiscover kung ano ang lesson ngayon. Dito, kailangan mong sabihin first yung lesson, tapos yun namang sunod-sunod na. Na-feel ko na kaya ko naman. Isa yan sa kinoconsider ko na kaya ko bang mag-teach doon at mag-adjust para they can renew me on the next year. Kasi kahit yung visa mo is up to 3 years, kahit up to 3 years siya, it's not assurance na you'll be renewed.
Tama,
kasi
tama.
per annual yung contract nila. So, alam ko naman that I did my best, and then based on may dalawang observations kami sa school dito sa US. Dalawa yung class observation. Nagsisit in yung principal or the vice principal, at tinitingnan nila, ina-evaluate niya on how you do the whole lesson. So, yung unang evaluation ko, maganda naman yung feedback, but I expected more of it kasi nga parang parang naman ako sa Philippines, tapos dito naman hindi masyado. I mean, yung score na nakuha ko mataas naman siya, pero hindi yung
Not the
score
same
na
sa
in-expect ko.
Philippines.
Ganun. So, the second time around, maganda na yung score, mas mataas na yung score ko kasi na-improve na, kasi it's already 8 months na din naman. So medyo alam ko na marirenew ako, kasi sinasabi na nila na yung mga admin, yung instructional coach, na huwag kang aalis huwag kang aalis. Gusto ko maabutan ka pa ng anak ko, kasi yung anak niya nasa preschool pa. So first grade ako, gusto niya maabutan ko pa yung anak niya. Tapos sabi yung assistant principal na we're really glad you're here. Maririnig mo na yung mga indirect na mga nila. So alam ko na i-renew nila ako.
That's good.
so nung ando na yung contract, parang last week lang. Yeah, or this week lang yata yun. Okay, grateful din ako kasi nakita nila yung yung pag-work hard, yung hard work ko dito, nakikita nila at na-appreciate din nila. So, I'm grateful. At the same time, parang it would also parang baka may pang iba. May makikita ka pang mas mataas na yung gano'n na kasi may kakilala ko in different states dito na nagtuturo. Sa Colorado, sa North Dakota, na sometimes nag-uusap kami on how they how are their admins din, ganyan. So naano ko pag napakaganda ng admins nila na parang they don't feel the pressure na nafe-feel ko or nafe-feel namin. Parang gusto mong natitempt ka na mag-transfer. So there's also a portion of me that I wanna go to a different district and I wanna try somewhere else na parang mas malaki yung sweldo. Alam ko na at tanggap ko na naman na pare-pareho lang yung mga bata. It's just that you have to weigh things out na parehong mahirap pero yung isa mas malaki ang sweldo.
Tama.
Worth it ba siya? Parang ganon. So yeah, as of the moment nagtatry ako mag-apply ng ibang district. Pero at the same time, I'm still gonna be grateful kung dito pa rin ako next school year. I'm still grateful about it at wala akong, no bitterness kapag dito lang din walang nag-hire sa akin sa iba. Kasi first year ko pa lang naman. So I still have, if I still don't like it the next year, then I can still apply for another district. But the only thing that I'm also thinking na kapag second year ko na dito, baka may baka hindi na masyadong mahirap. Kasi baptism of fire yun pagbago ka pa.
Tama.
So, pag second year, may may prep na ako, may mga slides na ako, may lesson plan, ganun. Parang, baka naisip ko, baka hindi na masyadong mahirap. So, okay lang ako kapag, I still didn't sign the contract yet for the next year. Sinisave ko pa, baka may ibang plan si Lord. Pero, pag dumating ang deadline, tapos walang mga invitation for interviews, then I would still be glad to stay here. Or stay the same school.
Amity yung yung
yes,
sponsor mo.
Amity.
How is it is it easy to switch school districts with the sponsor or kailangan mo munang humingi ng permission from your sponsor?
Kailangan pong humingi ng permission. And as far as I know, nagtatanong-tanong na ako kung mahirap o madali ba. Kailangan talaga mabigat yung reason mo na mag-transfer ka.
So, hindi yung sabihin mo lang na I just want to experience yung another school district.
Hindi, oo. At saka yung number one na hindi nila pinapahintulot is if i-reason mo yung salary. It's a big no. Kasi alam mo kasi yung salary na doon ka pa sa Pinas Alam mo na kung anong susoldohin mo. Tapos, bakit mo tinanggap kung naliliitan ka lang naman? Ganyan. So, that is one of the reason na hindi mo sasabihin. Kasi pag yan automatic, no talaga. So, dapat,
so kung for example kung makakuha ka ng job offer from a different school district, paano mo i-explain yun sa sponsor mo?
I would be honest to them na the school admin is but the school admin. And that's one of the factors. At the same time, yung personal feelings and emotions na I have because the pressure, the anxiety, yun. Kasi mabigat din yun na reason, yun na narinig ko. Na may nag-allow sila na mag-transfer. May isa akong kakilala na nasa school ko, na Amity siya, he came from a different school district. So, nagtanong din ako anong reason. Yung emotional, talaga, yung atake. Yun talaga yung pinaka, na reason para...
Kasi kung if you stay lang naman dun sa school district and then it's taking a toll sa emotional state mo, mental state mo, it's not really worth it.
Yes,
diba?
exactly.
So dapat kung hindi ka happy, so yun din kasi yung sa iba na nagko-consider ng pumunta dito is once they get hired into one school district na medyo hostile yung environment, yung fear nila is they're gonna get stuck there throughout their program. So, meron din talagang out kung yung may situation na hindi maganda yung... Kasi siyempre, mabait sila sa'yo during the interview. That's their job. Pero pag dating doon and then na-meet mo na yung principal mo and then whoever else dun sa school and then it became a hostile environment for you, then you just have to tell your sponsor that na yan yung reason na gusto mong umalis sa school district na yun. Or kahit nandun sa school lang na yon kasi yung emotional toll, yung stress mo on that school is hindi mo na kayang you can't bear it anymore. Diba? Yung the best is, kasi kung minsan yung the best is lumipat na lang talaga ng school district if possible. Kasi kung school lang within the same school district is sometimes they also talk to each other. Katulad sa Pilipinas, they also talk to each other, and then you might also become a target, diba?
Yeah,
Na,
totoo.
na lumipat ka sa isang school, and then kung magkakilala yung principal from your school in that school, baka pag-initan ka pa rin
Oo nga.
doon pagdating mo doon. Pero if you switch to a different school district, then chances are na may kilala sila on that school district is very slim, diba?
Yes, very slim. Totoo.
Mga anong states yung kino-consider mo na if you can, anong state yung kino-consider mo na lipatan?
Yung ano po, New Mexico at saka Colorado. Nag-apply din ako sa, I consider also Montana.
Montana. Wow.
Sa Montana kasi 4 days din sila. Most of their schools there.
Maganda dito kasi 4 days lang yung school din.
Oo.
3-day weekend ka
3-day
all the
weekend,
time.
oo.
Pero once in a while, meron kayong tinatawag nila na PD, Professional
PD,
Development pa
professional.
yun. Pero that's, pag ni-require ka na to go there, that's extra pay also, di ba?
Hindi.
Hindi na?
Hindi na. Pero
Oh.
hindi na. So, kasali siya sa monthly pay. Pero may seminars na babayaran ka.
Oh, okay.
Naka-attend ako ng one time nang nalaman ko na, uy, may seminar tapos babayaran ka ng $35 per hour. Makinig ka lang dun. Huy, ako, nasa-sign up ako. Actually, hindi ako na naka-sign up. So, wala na, parang napuno lahat. So, what I did is that, yung isang kakilala ko na parang, may sakit siya at hindi siya makaka-attend, sabi ko, ako na lang mag-proxy sa'yo. Tapos, i-email mo yung superintendent na ako yung magpo-proxy. Tapos yun, na-arrange namin. Tsaka yun, saan ka maghahanap ng wala talaga yan doon sa Pinas na parang pag-seminar ka tapos ikaw babayaran. Dito parang, uy, makinig ka lang ng 6 hours, then you gain, a money out from just listening and learning from the seminar.
Yung dinig ko sa Pilipinas, pag pinadala ka sa seminar, out of pocket mo pa, ikaw pa magbabayad no?
Oo.
Pero
may budget sila doon. Parang hindi katulad ng dito. Pinapakain ka lang nila at the end of the week. Ganyan. So, ibang-iba talaga siya.
So, hindi pala lahat ng PD is paid extra?
Hindi lahat
Certain
po.
seminars
Parang
lang.
part siya ng school calendar na kailangan mong mag-attend.
Oh.
Hindi lahat.
Wow.
Yung mga PD, wala yung bayad kasi part siya ng school year.
Oh, okay. Yung impression ko is, may PD
Hindi po.
sila this Friday.
Oo, kasi may PD kami every first Friday. Every first Friday at saka every third Friday of the month. Half day yung third Friday of the month. Both of that PDs doesn't have extra pay.
Walang pay.
Pag nag-absent ka, kailangan mo mag-file ng PTO.
Oh, wow. Sa PD na days?
Sa PD days.
PD
Kailangan
days
mo mag-file.
Oh, wow.
Kaya wag ka na lang mag-absent. Sayang yung PTO mo.
Mga, anong places na napuntahan mo dito sa US, ma'am?
Sa Las Vegas, nakapunta na ako saan ba? Saan pa ba?
Anong
Dito
states?
Sa Nevada. Parang yan lang. The rest, dito na sa Arizona, naglilibot-libot.
California, Disneyland.
Oo nga. California. Nakapunta na rin ako sa California. But not yet in Disneyland. Sa Universal Studios.
Universal.
Tsaka yung mga nila doon, tourist spot, like Hollywood Park, tsaka yung Wall of Fame. Parang, yung Walk of Fame.
Yung Walk of Fame, yung meron
Walk
mga
of Fame.
star-star.
Yung mga star-star.
Hindi ko maalala kung nakapunta na ako doon sa Walk of Fame. Hindi ko sure kasi wala akong picture na makita na. So most likely siguro hindi pa ako nakapunta doon.
Ano siya, expectation versus reality siya doon?
Kumusta naman doon pagpunta mo doon?
Ang ganda ng vibe ng California talaga, iba. Para kang nasa Pinas lang, pero high-end siya. But at the same time, there's a dark side of it kasi yung maraming homeless doon.
Totoo.
At saka yung car mo hindi safe. Kasi maraming cases doon na binibreak nila yung car at saka kinukuha nila yung mga valuables mo inside.
Especially pag yung plate mo is out of state.
Oo,
Kasi
totoo.
pagdating mo ng Arizona plate ka, automatically assume nila tourist siguro yung may-ari nito and then they are out somewhere pero yung valuables nila iiwan nila sa kotse. So that's why they break into your car. Maraming talagang ganong cases.
May nakita rin nga ako na while nagta-travel kami, may nakita akong parang homeless na yung bote, pinukpok niya sa bench na nasa street.
Mm.
Tapos like, wala lang, parang mata wala lang. I was like, oh my gosh, paano pang naglakad ako doon? Tapos may ginawa siyang ganun. So yun, hindi rin masyadong 100% safe doon.
Grabe din yung homelessness dito, ano,
Oo.
hindi mo ma-realize na meron din palang mga Amerikano na homeless.
Totoo.
And then, parang worse pa nga, no, compared
Parang
sa
worse pa nga,
Philippines.
oo.
Nakikita mo dyan lang sa kalye. The other day, actually, naglalakad-lakad ako. Di ba yung sa sidewalk, kung minsan meron siyang mga plants?
Oo.
Oh. Nung nag-approach pa lang ako, akala ko ano lang siya, parang something na basura. And then habang papalipit na ako, tao pala natutulog.
Oo nga.
Sabi ko, wow, dito siya nagsa-sunbathing siya dito sa homeless siguro yun. Pero magandang neighborhood, pero hindi mo talaga may iwasan.
Oo, hindi talaga may ganun talaga.
Ma'am, yung after ng 3 years mo na program, are you thinking of doing a 4th or 5th year?
Pag may choice ako na parang if I already saved enough, parang I won't. And may plans din ako, I already started actually, moving to New Zealand.
Wow.
Oo, kasi it's the country that I dream of becoming a permanent resident.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kasi it's solely one of the reasons is because of yung healthcare nila doon. Kasi we're not getting any younger. Kasi
Totoo.
kapag resident ka na doon, like 99% is free healthcare-wise. Yung education nila doon din.
Oh, I heard so much good
yes.
things.
So, I already did the first step. Luckily, it was like, it's a good sign na parang my credentials were evaluated and it was a success kasi tinatanggap nila both yung bachelor's ko at saka yung master's. So I did the first step. I just have to take 2 more steps and then after that I can already start job hunting doon. So it's one of my option. Just if ever this journey doesn't, it won't really last long or maybe I have a chance to like may option ako. May option ako. So yan, it's either I would stop and maybe continue the next 3 years dito. Tatapusin ko lang yung program at saka I will transfer or move to New
Sa
Zealand
New Zealand.
pag may opportunity.
Wow. So, nire-research mo na ngayon kung ano yung mga requirements doon, ano yung mga living conditions, yung mga culture ng
doon.
students.
Yung mga
Probably
bata.
might be better than, might be a better experience
yes.
compared to the US.
Yeah, it's also gonna be a very big jump on my professional development kasi if I get to teach there, so parang tatlong yung country yung ko, tas they also have a different curriculum there. So parang it's also a plus when I go if I plan to go back to the Philippines. Of course, may plano naman talaga because nandun talaga yung family ko. So it would like if you find job there, it would yung credentials mo parang ang bango-bango na. Parang i-hire ka na kung saan ka gustong mag-apply.
Pinag-usapan niya na ni Mr. yung plano na yan.
Yes po.
So you're both in agreement na
Yes,
kung ma-manifest yung ganong plano mo is
opo.
going to New Zealand.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, very nice. Ano ba yung dun, weather conditions and things like that? Must know.
They get to experience 4 seasons.
4 seasons din.
Yes. So may spring, summer, fall at saka winter sila doon.
Na-experience mo na ba yung snow dito?
Yes po.
Saan?
Sa malapit sa Mount Charleston.
Narinig ko na yung Charleston.
At saka sa Williams.
Ano yun? Pagpunta mo doon, meron ng snow or nag-i-snow pagpunta mo doon?
The first time we went to Mount Charleston, malapit lang doon, parang ski resort siya, Lee Canyon. May snow na siya, but after a minute or 2, nag-snow siya ng snowfall. So it was my first experience of the snow at saka yung snowfall. So very...
Nag-skiing kayo?
Hindi pa. I was actually planning to, we were actually planning to have a snowboarding last week kasi nag-snow dun sa Flagstaff last week. But then, hindi siya natuloy kasi na-close lahat ng roads kasi because of the snowstorm, yung grabbing snowstorm, hindi kami natuloy.
So, finish your 3 years dito, then move to New Zealand, and then yan na yung plano mo is to become a permanent resident sa New Zealand.
Yes.
So, bakasyon na lang sa
Philippines.
sa Philippines.
But I also have plans na magnegosyo sa Philippines. Like, yeah, may plans din ako na ng business doon. And then pa-fly na lang doon or...
What kind of business?
I'm still thinking about the laundry one kasi may may yung parent ng estudyante ko before sa private school. Supplier sila ng ganun. May business sila na ganun. Tsaka sila ng if nagse-set up sila. So may yan yung dream business ko, yung laundry.
Hindi ko rin inaakala na it would be a good business yung laundromat pala sa Philippines, no, kasi nung na first time ko na nakita yung sign na laundromat sa amin, sabi ko meron kayong pupunta din kasi yung so meron din pala talagang clientele yung ganong kasi kung as much as possible kung ayaw mo maglaba
Oo nga.
hindi naman lahat kasi maka-afford ng washing machine, no, sa atin.
Totoo.
Marami pa rin yung nag-hand wash ng laundry
correct.
nila. So
Yes.
kung mayroon lang naman na laundromat na lagay mo na lang doon yung
hintay ka na lang.
Maganda rin talaga siyang business.
At saka most especially if you're near in an apartment or
apartment or
neighborhood.
school or kaya
yes.
mga offices, ganun. So na-start mo na ba yung ganyang yung idea mo na ni-research mo siya kung paano siya i-start?
Hindi pa masyado yung technicalities niya. It's just that alam ko na kung saan ako mag-training or sinong tao yung the right person that I should ask about it.
Kasi yung mahirap minsan kung mag-start ka ng business sa Philippines is kung wala ka doon, yung maghahanap ng person na you could trust na.
Yes.
So meron kang ganong person na you
Yes
could trust
po.
to run the business, which is good. Ako it took me a while to find someone na would have the same vision.
Correct.
Sabihin ko lang, this is what I want, and then you don't need to do it now, pero long-term wise, this is where I want this business to go. And then they find ways to get there. No? Mahirap yung mahanapin yung ganong person. Yung ko lang ngayon is kung if that person is move up somewhere else, find something better, mahihirapan na naman ako to find a replacement.
Oo nga.
Kasi yung nagra-run ngayon ng resort ko is my cousin. And only because marami siyang free time. Kasi work from home siya, she's in IT. Yung trabaho niya, I think, foreigner yata employer, so mayroon time difference. So sa gabi siya nagtatrabaho. And then during the day, minamanage niya yung resort. So ngayon, kung if she ever does something else, like even mag-abroad siya, yun yung problema ko, who's gonna take over yung resort. So,
totoo.
So ngayon yung kino-consider ko is maybe I might sell it na lang. But at one point, consider ko rin lang umuwi ng Philippines and settle there. Pero we'll see. I'll give it a couple more years. So ano naman yung ni Mr. sa idea mo na pumuntang New Zealand?
Supportive naman siya.
So kasi yung cook siya, sabi mo, di ba? So he can go anywhere.
He can go anywhere.
Even open possibly his own thing. Yung may kilala ako sa New Jersey, his name is Leo Alquiros. Back in the 90s, nung na-meet ko siya, nagki-cater lang siya. Pag merong event, siya magki-cater, and then he hires people na mag-help sa kanya. So niluluto niya na kaagad, and then he would go to the venue, tapos dun niya sinaset up. And then nung that time na ni-hire ko siya, he took a couple of young people with him na magsaserve around ng food. Ba? That's the way he started. Pero masarap talaga siya magluto. And then now, as far as I know, meron na siyang 6 yata na branches.
Wow.
So nag-start siya kasi in the beginning yun lang, private booking, and then his name got around. Kasi kahit ako, pag nagsabi, sino yung ma-recommend mo ng cater, I would recommend Leo.
Filipino food yung
Filipino food. Saka yung just the way na mag-serve siya. Kasi even though na siya yung main guy, he would take up yung wine bottle and he would go around and serve it himself. So hindi siya yung nakatayo lang doon. He really walks around and really cater. Parang ginagawa niya yung event mo na parang special ba kasi yung the way yung servers behave is na-amaze yung mga guest mo na parang it seems like you pay them extra to do it, diba? Parang 5-star na catering. Nila. Kasi usually yung catering is isa-set na lang yung food, ito yung buffet day and then you just stand there. And then mag-serve, diba? It's not like that sa kay Leo at that time. It's not like that. Yung people niya really goes around. Kung ano yung pagkain doon, kung meron pang natirang lumpia, they would put it on a plate, they would walk around and just hand it to people. Tapos kung makita nila na, okay, there's another wine bottle here. Let's go around and
offer it to people.
Fill yung glasses ng mga tao. So, doon ako na-amaze sa kanya. Right now, he's doing good. He's got, as far as I know, last time na I know, 4 na yung grocery / merong turo-turo na branches na. This is a very good success story. So, hopefully, meron din yung mangyayari kay Mr. In the beginning, little catering here, little catering there, and then you might even be able to open his own restaurant, diba?
Totoo.
Sa New Zealand.
Yeah.
Ma'am, pag meron kang advice sa mga aspiring na J1 applicants, what would it be?
It would be really the first step of really wanting to be here is to really find your purpose and really weigh things out. Kasi if you're doing good in the Philippines, wala kang utang, you're in a good place, you can provide your family's needs and wants. You don't have to be here because the happiness is really in the Philippines. Just on my end, it's really there. But if you wanted to experience also more and wanted to risk everything that you have there, it's really a risk kasi it's a chance. My chances talaga niya you won't like it, or it's either you won't like it or the employer won't like you, something like that. And then it's a big risk. It's a big step to go back here. And then if you have a purpose of like coming here, you have to really list down your purpose every year may purpose ka or may goal ka. On my end kasi yung goal ko, first year goal ko, mabayaran ko lahat ng loans ko sa DepEd. So luckily, by God's grace, just last month I paid all of my debt in the Philippines. So I'm debt free. That's one of the goals. So, yan, you list down all your goals para alam mo kung anong ginagawa mo dito. Kasi if you're in a J1 visa, it's not permanent.
Tama.
It's not permanent. So, you really have to make the best out of it. You can enjoy and, of course, save at the same time, invest at the same time because J1 visa is not a final, it's not for a lifetime. That's it.
Tama. So, meron kasi ako mananotice na, merong isang J1 na na-notice ko na when she came here, nawili yata siya ng shopping dito, shopping doon. And then by the end of the first year, wala siyang savings. Gusto niyang umuwi ng Philippines dahil naiwan si Mr. Don. And then she ended up having to borrow money for the plane ticket kasi hindi siya nakasave.
Exactly.
So definitely money management is very, very important pagdating dito. Kasi what if hindi ka ma-renew for the second year, diba? For whatever reason it is, they had to kayo. Kasi I heard na actually na somebody from the district hindi yata na-renew. First year niya dito and then she was not given a renewal. And I heard na hindi daw siya i-renew. So ngayon, back to zero ka na naman, diba?
Correct.
So ngayon, kung hindi ka nakapag-save, maghahanap ka na naman ng bagong district. So, balik Pilipinas muna. And you never know kung kailan ka ulit
Correct.
makakakuha ng bagong job offer.
Totoo.
So definitely. Ma'am, thank you for
Thank you din
coming
po.
into this program. Any last words, shout outs?
Um, keep going. Keep going. Kung nasaan kayo ngayon, whether you are in the Philippines, working with any jobs, or you are in the US, just keep going, and of course, just continue to reach your goal one step at a time.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Again,
you
thank
po.
you for coming, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you po, sir.